themselves ready here for the regular season. NBA general managers made they did some voting around the league here, some different predictions on where teams are going to end up, who's going to do what. We'll talk about that. We'll preview the Cavaliers' final preseason game tonight, set the stage, Game 2 of the World Series. Don't go anywhere, baby. Final segment of the Sports Fix coming your way next. OHIO, baby.
Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. Sloopy lives in a very
The Sports Fix.
A shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist.
The Sports Fix.
A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
The fix is in. The Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, before we go to the break, I want to talk to you a little bit again about our good friends at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, some of the hottest fights in the world today. Each and every one of their huge events, Harry Buffalo is one of the few places in Northeast Ohio you can go there and watch each and every UFC fight at the Harry Buffalo. And let me tell you, I've been there. The people are out the door. They are to the rafters. It is one of the craziest environments for some UFC fights. Wing Mondays, they've got great deals on wings and drinks, and every day of the week there's a different special, a different deal. And don't forget the Bison Burger, the unbelievable. It is the combination of a fantastic burger and eating healthy combined into one unbelievable sandwich. You have got to get a Bison Burger while you're there. So whatever you're looking for, whatever day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays, there's something for you at the Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, just outside Great Northern Mall. Check them out today. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Hi, this is Patrick Borlow from Cleveland Lakeview Monsters, and you're listening to the Sport Fix.
Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize. Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs. There's literally only one place to go. FantasyJocks.com.
Timeout! Okay, guys, Summers really had his bell rung and could have a concussion. I'm pulling him out for the game. Rodriguez, you're in for Summers.
Come on, Coach. It's just a ding. I'll shake it off.
Yeah, he's tough. Plus, we need to win this to make the playoffs.
Listen, we're a team and we need to look out for each other. Concussions are serious. No game is more important than your health.
Take concussions out of play. If you're a coach, know the warning signs and never let athletes return to play before a healthcare professional says it's okay. A message from CDC.
The Sports Fix is now available every day on the world's largest internet radio service, iHeartRadio. Download the free iHeartRadio app, subscribe to the show, and get your fix.
It's just an old ball, really. Nothing more. We grew with it and studied it. We owned it and shared it. We prayed they would hit it and miss it. We prayed they would catch it and drop it. We wanted it to bounce and fly, speed up and slow down. We prayed it would come to us, and we wanted to give it away. We have watched it weather storms and bask in the sun. And it's always right here in our hands. Cleveland Indians, established 1901.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live, final segment here on the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you. First things first, thanks to each of you for joining us throughout the day. Thanks to everybody who came on, called in, the guests, the callers, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. Tomorrow, man, now we're really rolling downhill. I'm telling you, the week's like a mountain. We're at the peak of it. Now we start rolling downhill. Tomorrow, looking ahead, we've got the BSK, Kendall Lewis, in the house tomorrow as we really officially start looking ahead. We'll talk a bit about last week and coming up with the Cleveland Browns with the BSK. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com in the house. We'll talk all about World Series Game 2 and the first 2 games in the books with Mike Brandenberry. We'll talk some Tribe as well with him. Can't wait. Always a great conversation with the guys from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. BJ Riddell, it's fantasy football time, baby. The first game of the week kicks off tomorrow night. We get you set with the ins and outs and the tips nobody else has given you except our man, the guru himself, BJ Riddell. Fantasy football for winners tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. right here on the Sports Fix. All coming your way as we roll downhill, head towards that weekend. Kendall Lewis, Mike Brandenberry, BJ Riddell, all on tap for tomorrow, guys. You in the background, come on, Cavs. They wrap up the preseason here tonight in Memphis, taking on the Grizzlies. As LeBron James won't play tonight, Sean Marion will get the start in his spot. We talked about that the other day. LeBron played his final preseason game. Cavs looking to work on a couple of things. Mike Miller would definitely like to get himself going. Hasn't looked very good in the preseason here, but of course, a lot of time to change that. Definitely a bad beginning for him. He's 2 of 13 in the preseason, 26% from the field. He's a career 40% shooter. I have no doubt that he will get that figured out, but we saw the other day too, he played a very limited number of minutes. I wouldn't be surprised to see that hold up definitely through the early part of the season. I'm telling you, that 8-man rotation, 9 if you count that, that's what you're going to see a lot of. That's going to be who they're going to lean on. We were talking about it yesterday with David Blatt. Those guys that you saw play, that's an 8-man rotation to start out, and I think it's going to start out that tight, and then you'll see some adjustments and some changes, but the backside is going too deep, and I don't know necessarily. Well, you know what? I mean, then again, for each team their own, and that's the problem, is there is no mold. It's not a set way. They'll have to figure out what works best for them. Marion's going to play tonight. Look for him to work on getting himself going offensively a bit as the starter. He'll start for LeBron tonight. I love Sean Marion. I like what he brings. If he can just bring what he's brought for the preseason, I'd be cool with that. Give me 10 points. Give me 7-8 boards a game. Give me some solid defense. I was talking to some buddies yesterday about the Cavs defensively, perhaps what they could turn into. That's going to be where a lot of the growth is going to take place. It's easy to focus on the offense, but I am intrigued by some various lineup combinations. LeBron and Sean Marion playing together defensively, I think, could work in tandem very well. Defensively, it's a couple of Scottie Pippen types. People always jump when you use a name in a comparison, but I'm talking long arms, good defensive players with a good mindset, ability to think a few steps ahead of the offensive player. Those two guys, and as well, different combinations with Tristan or with Varejao and some different combination groupings could be some intriguing defensive ones. And then there's some other ones that are who's going to play defense on this combination. But I'll tell you, and I could see playoff time when the courts start to shrink. I could see the 2-man kind of front court deal in there with Marion and James defensively could be a web, and they could kind of lead into some trap plays there very well. I could see some good stuff coming. That's the stuff I'm looking to see grow during the course of this season, not just going out there and beating the crap out of Philadelphia, a dozen nights a season and different teams like that. So we'll see that. But that's basically what we're looking at here tonight. Tonight will be it's preseason. You don't get the greatest challenges, but this may be with the Bulls probably the toughest inside team that the Cavs have faced in the preseason, and we'll probably give them a little bit of a challenge to see if they mind getting down in the muck playing that kind of ball there. We'll see. Cavaliers, Love, Marion, Thompson, Waiters, and Irving will be your starting 5. Memphis going to toss out Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, Courtney Lee, Mike Conley, Marc Gasol at the center position here tonight. That game's at 8 o'clock tonight, Cavaliers' final preseason game of the season. And while we're talking hoops, the NBA general managers poll here, not the media, not the players, not the fans. This is the NBA general managers poll. 56 different questions they were asked, and they were not allowed to vote for their own team in any of these categories. Who will be the NBA champion? San Antonio Spurs, 46% of the votes chosen by general managers to be the preseason favorite to win the championship. Second place team, Cleveland. The Cavaliers finished far behind the Spurs, 15% of general managers, which, let's see, do the math in my head. What's that, 4 general managers would have picked the Cavs? I mean, I'm guessing when you realize there's only 30-something of them. But anyways, the Heat last year was the favorite. 75% of general managers last year had the Heat winning, so they ended up being wrong. They had them to the finals, but they were wrong about that. Much more of a split here, less than 50%, but still let's see, we'll do the 46, maybe 10 votes for the Spurs. But anyways, 46% see the Spurs ahead of the Cavs for the championship. LeBron was chosen as the leader for the MVP position this year. 70% said LeBron wins his 5th MVP award. Kevin Durant finished second, 21% of the votes. Of course, he's got that indefinite sitting out with the broken foot, so we'll see when he comes back. He was the MVP last year. Most surprising move of the offseason, 53% of general managers said it was LeBron returning to Cleveland. Also, the Cavaliers, 90% of the NBA general managers said the Cavaliers had the best offseason. Well, that was a hard one to vote for. I don't know of any teams in sports history, many, that can talk about the offseason. And I'm not getting into the homecoming story as much as just simply adding LeBron James and Kevin Love, that chunk of talent to your team. That's there's not a lot of teams that do that. So it was a rather impressive offseason from that perspective. Rookie of the Year, Jabari Parker. 75% of general managers have him. Andrew Wiggins. We know Wiggins well. Well, we didn't get to know him as well as we thought we might. He was predicted second. Let's see. Coach of the Year, Greg Popovich. 93% of general managers have him as the best coach in the NBA. Chris Paul, interesting, voted as the player who will be the best head coach in the future. And I've heard a lot of people say that about him. The general managers also picked the best player at every position in the NBA, and their top 5 was Chris Paul at point guard, James Harden at shooting guard, LeBron James at small forward, Dwight Howard at center, and a tie at power forward with Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. They picked the Raptors to win the Atlantic, the Cavaliers to win the Central, the Wizards to win the Southeast, the Thunder in the Northwest, the Clippers in the Pacific, and the Spurs in the Southwest. They also, let's see, a couple of interesting ones. Who would you pick to anchor a franchise if you were starting a franchise from scratch? Kevin Durant, LeBron James, third finisher, Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans as the 3 players general managers would choose to start their franchise with. Also, Davis predicted as the most likely to have the breakout season of this upcoming year. Joakim Noah was voted as the best defensive player in the league. The Golden State Warriors, the most fun player to watch in the league, and with the game on the line, NBA general managers have said they would want Kevin Durant to take the last shot. Kobe Bryant and LeBron James finished second, but listen to the percentages. 80% want Kevin Durant to take the final shot of the game. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James with 7% apiece as second place. So a big one there. But anyways, that's where they're looking at things. Of course, it's all for fun. It's polls of general managers. These are the guys that run the various teams. Obviously, a lot of those no-brainers. Spurs, Cavs, Bulls. That's my grouping for the finals. Cavs and the Bulls are going to duke it out in the East to get there. I see the Spurs being the team coming out of the West, especially with the Durant thing. So, and I agree. Either way, I could see the Spurs and the Cavs in the finals. I could see the Spurs and the Heat the Bulls in the finals as well. I see the Spurs winning it either way, no matter which team. I know people are like, hey, what about the Cavs? They won how many games last year? and we're arguing, are they gonna win the finals or just get there? I'll take it either way. But regardless, I think the Spurs have another year to hang there on the top, and this will be it for them. We'll see, though. I mean, obviously last year, general managers picked the Heat, and they didn't win either. So